back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Scanf, although we have talked about it in the previous videos, but in this video, we're going to be talking about it in a little more detail, okay? So as you guys know, that Scanf is an input statement. It is used to get a value at the runtime of a program. When you are writing a program and when you run the program and you then enter any value, all of you have put the term Scanf or the function Scanf in your program, and then on the output screen, it actually is here to receive some value and then store that value wherever you want to locate it, okay? So we're going to be looking towards that later on while we're like solving the examples. Okay, let's look at the syntax, okay? The scanf that we have studied, we have just used a logical operator, which is this one, and this is an address operator, and then we have used a variable name, and that's it. Okay, now here the scanf is divided like in two parts. You can say that between the parentheses there's a separation through a comma that separates the two parts, okay? So the part that is double in like between the double inverted commas is called the format specifier. We have talked about the format specifier in the previous video, which is %D, %F, %C, and there are many format specifiers, but right now we're just working on these three. Okay, then we have a variable name. Okay, and we have a address operator to address the to get the value from the output screen, and then take that value and store it into the variable name, whatever it is, okay? This is something user defined. This is something you get to specify it here. Okay, this is just like a general syntax. Now we're gonna look at some examples using different kind of format specifiers. First of all, we are using %D, and you guys know that %D is for the integer data type. To receive or to store any integer value, you have to put a %D as a format specifier, and then you're putting just like a regular address operator, which is and you are storing any value that you are getting into marks, okay? Then we have a scanf. Okay, scanf, and then again we are having %f, which is for the float, to store any float values, and the same goes here as well because this part remains the same. The difference is coming for the format specifier only. Okay, so now we have a %C, and you guys know that %C is like used for the character data type. So if you want to store any character value, then for that you have to put %C in the scanf. Okay, now you can use these all together as well under a in a single scanf. For syntax for that is something like this. You have to separate each variable name by a commas. As you can see, the commas, they're separated by a comma, but you don't need to separate these format specifiers with a comma. You can just write it one after another, okay? So, but over here you have to put the commas between each variables, and the individual variable will have their own address operator, okay? Which is and here, okay? And we have the printf. You can go the same for the printf as well. Okay, now here we have an example. As you can see that it's a main function, and then we have put the code between these two curly brackets, and then we have defined a data type here, and then we have stored some memory location in our RAM. And then we put a clear screen to clear our output screen. This is something that I have told you guys in the previous video, so if you haven't watched that, make sure you go and watch that first, okay? And then we have used a scanf to get a value from the user, and then store that value into variable A, or you can say actually assign that value to a variable A, and then printf is just, as you guys know, that used for to print any message on the output screen. That's something really basic. Okay, now we're gonna be trying this example, and let's do it. Okay, it has been already here, so we're gonna just simply run this, And for those of you who don't know what these are, so these are the libraries, okay? These are the libraries that has the functions that we're using right over here in our code. That's something already been defined in these libraries. Okay, now we're gonna be looking at the output screen. Here we have an output screen, and it's asking me to, as you can see the cursor, and according to our code, the compiler first goes from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. So from top to bottom, if you come, first we have a scanf, right? So scanf, we have to enter a value so that it can store that value into the variable a, as you can see here. Okay, we're gonna be putting 12. Okay, now I'm just gonna press enter, and then we have another scanf that we use, which is for the b, and to store any b value, to store, you can say assign any value to b. I'm gonna do 10. Okay, now I'm gonna just simply enter, and then the compiler will go towards the printf statement, and whatever you have wrote inside those parentheses of the printf is gonna be printed. Okay, so again, we have divided the printf into two parts, actually into 3 parts. Okay, so okay, now whatever message you want to display, you can display it between the two double inverted commas. Okay, it says you have enter 12